Welcome to the Ramen Bowl, where every week there's a new flavor of the week, and this week's flavor is honey, like honeybees, like the beehive, like Beyonce. It's a stretch, okay? I get it. It's a stretch, but like it's gonna make sense. Give me a second. All right. Have y'all seen the show Swarm on Amazon Prime? If you haven't, it's actually really fucking good. You absolutely should watch it. My fake husband, aka Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, created the show. And if you don't remember, he's also the creator of Atlanta and Guava Island. If you haven't seen those, fucking fantastic. And also, he's certain as a comedian, so like he also has shows. Community. If you've seen Community, he's on there. Anyway, the story of Swarm is about this girl, gorgeous girl, named Dre, who is played by Dominique Fishback, and I love her, by the way. She's fantastic. Um, Dre is obviously showing signs of maladjustment due to mental illness, and it is believed, I believe, it's believed that she has autism. She's autistic. I don't want to, diagnose her, but that's beside the point. Anyway, the point is the bitch is a murderer. Okay, she's a murderer. Let me start from the beginning. So she has this foster sister, Marissa, that she adores the fuck out of, right? But she loves her a little bit too hard, like they're both pretty codependent on one another. And they have this, they grew up with this deep obsession with this idol named Nyjah, who is definitely an allegory to Beyonce. There's so many hints to her being Beyonce, but like two of the main ones. First of all, the show was named Swarm, and then also there's always the buzzing of bees in the background for some reason. Like there are just scenes where like there's just the buzzing of bees. Obviously, and then there's like I said, other hints, but like obviously it's an allegory for Beyonce. Anyway, Marissa is kind of growing up out of that obsessive phase, and she's moving on with her life. And this creates a sort of rift between the two sisters. Marissa is more acclimating to the world around her and like it's growing up, whether that be good or bad. And Dre is not. Dre is slightly due to being autistic, but more so to that her obsession with this idol is far more off-putting and disturbing. But she just can't adjust to the life that the world around her very well. Things, like I said, their relationship is there's a rift between them. Things are falling apart. Money can't be made. Marissa's boyfriend fucking sucks, and their issues are getting a lot bigger to deal with, and it's made a lot bigger when Dre fails to cover a deal for Marissa that she really needed her to pull through on. And at this point, it was a really big deal, and Marissa she's just out. She can't deal with the codependency of their relationship anymore, and she wants to live her life, so she moves out and says she's going to move in with her awful boyfriend. Dre is inconsolable, and she's inconsolable for hours. But flash forward, and Nyjah drops this surprise song or album, and it blows up all over social media. And for Dre, it feels like salvation. It feels like God himself came down and saved her from whatever she's feeling in those moments. Poor dear, because little does she know, Marissa's having her own realizations of sorts. She sees a surprise drop, and it's right after finding out that her awful boyfriend is in fact awful, and she's kind of feeling like her life is falling apart. Like her dreams are crushed. She has no job. She doesn't have any money, and she's trapped in this house. Just moved in with her now ex. Marissa believes that this surprise drop means it's time to commit the unalive, and she does commit the unalive. Dre ends up finding her body the next morning. She cries. She eats uncontrollably, and then she comes to a resolve. Dre and Marissa shared this one specific dream that they were going to meet Nyjah one day. Dre, more for spiritual reasons, felt like meeting Nyjah would be the completeness of her life. Like Nyjah would just know her and would be able to, she was the answer, if that makes sense. So after Marissa dies, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna meet Nyjah. I'm gonna do that. But first, she's taking out niggas of what I can only call is a murder tour. She kills the ex-boyfriend because obviously he had to go. She kills people for getting in the way. She kills people. She kills them for being annoying. She kills people because she just couldn't think of another answer. And she just kills people sometimes just because they deserved it. But most of all, she will kill you if you have a single word to say against Nyjah. Like on this tour, she is specifically finding people who had some shit to say on Twitter and is knocking these hoes out. But she's gonna meet Nyjah. So she takes this murder tour on the road. She meets Billie Eilish. Yeah, Billie Eilish is in here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Billie Eilish is in here. She kills her too. She nothing stops her from getting to Nyjah until one night she fucking does. She sees Nyjah in a club. She pushes through the crowd. Her dream is finally gonna come true. She's gonna see Nyjah, and Nyjah's gonna make everything in her life right again. Nyjah's God. Nyjah's gonna fix everything. Right. And then Dre bit her. Dre, she bit Beyonce. It was all over the fucking news. Like the bitch bit Beyonce. Get her, she's canceled. Dox her, the whole internet shit. In fact, the hunt for her was hotter for this than it was for the string of murders she left in her path. Like, it makes you wonder where the fuck the police were. But like, Twitter was on it. They was gonna try and find her. She bit Beyonce. So yeah, Dre had to go into hiding, but she's got this new mission. She has to go see Nyjah again. She has to say sorry. Because Beyonce would understand. I was just a little excited, that's all. She don't stop killing, though. She don't stop killing people. And at this point, Dre adopts a whole new persona. His name is Tony now. And they are not the nigga that bit Beyonce, as far as you know. Tony got into a relationship with this new girl, and they seem to be adjusting, like seem to be okay. Like they love each other until the girlfriend starts to feel the weight of Tony's codependency. Like Tony's not adjusting to life. And again, they can't make enough money, is still making terrible financial decisions, and they're all together just like an awful roommate. They get into arguments after argument until one day the biggest one of all. Tony can't pay rent, can't pay any bills, but bought like $5,000 tickets to see Nyjah, like maxed out credit cards, bro. Needless to say, the girlfriend is pissed, and she says some offhand shit about Nyjah. Tony, who I think should have been mad about the argument, mad about the comment, kills her in cold blood, right? But he got tickets to see Nyjah though, like that night. A dead body is inconvenient, but you can't miss Beyonce. So Tony, it goes anyway. The tickets can't be verified without the dead body. So it's kind of like, fuck it, Tony breaks into the event and once again is close enough to fucking smell Nyjah. And it's a dream come true twice in a lifetime somehow. They're on stage, they're like pushing their way to look eye to eye to Beyonce on the stage. I don't know. This is where things get weird in the fucking show. So they approach Nyjah, and it's almost as if Nyjah was God. Like, she's a luminescent. I'm not joking. She's literally surrounded by light. Like, this light that swallows Tony as he moves forward. And then the show fucking ends. That's it. Murder, and you meet God, and then it ends. Also, if you say anything about this broken nail, you're anti-black. Okay? All right? Pay for it. I don't know. I know it's bad. Anyway, so I love the show. I think Swarm definitely brings up the conversation of parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are defined as one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy and interest and time, and the other person, the persona, is completely unaware of the other person's existence. It's something that we do to celebrities all the time. We give them our love, our praise, we ascribe relationships with them and ignore the fact that this person knows nothing about me. I did it at the beginning of this video. Childish Gambino doesn't know me from fucking Sam, and yet I romantically claimed him. Sure, it's a joke, but how often have we heard stories of fans who have taken it too far, you know? And how far is too far? You know what I mean? Like, is there a difference between Beyonce fans and the Beehive? Is there a difference between Nicki fans and Nicki stans? That it's that kind of thing. Like, where do we cross the line for being being a fan and straight up fanaticism? You know, think of this. Frank Ocean just pulled the biggest fuck you at Coachella like a couple weeks ago. Coachella had been toting this man's name like a goddamn trophy. He was gonna finally be there. Frank Ocean was gonna perform. We hadn't seen Frank Ocean do shit. Okay. Coachella, Frank was 2 hours late to his own performance, and he didn't even perform. He just played a CD basically. It was like, fuck it. That's it, my guy. Fuck you. Yeah. And as a person who likes to spend money, I would be so fucking pissed because, bitch, I just spent money to see you after all these years. And you play a CD and you're 2 hours late? What in the Lauryn Hill? Anyway, people were pissed. People were pissed because they paid all this money to see Frank Ocean after all these years, and fans were, but like there are also fans who see Frank as this burnt out musician who didn't even want to do this show. Frank clearly doesn't want to do this shit anymore, and we beg him to pour out more of himself. We demand that he return to music. Blonde wasn't enough. We do the same thing to Rihanna too. We see them as product because unfortunately, when you're a celebrity, you are a product. You are your own product, and the product's job is to produce. But more than that, celebrities produce life-saving products. And I don't mean to heroify or idolacize them. I mean, people ascribe the continuation of their life to the things that these artists have made. And Dre found salvation in her idol. She was really an idol to her. Now, like, I mean, God idol, you know? Now you're probably thinking Swarm is just a show. Like, nobody's going out and doing this shit. It's kind of not, though. Swarm is a story that is an accumulation of several stories about real fans who took it too far. Someone really did bite Beyonce. I'm not joking. But these celebrities are people too, and some of them just aren't feeling it anymore. Beyonce doesn't do interviews, and we all know that. We just know that. And so, but the thing is, like, my question, I guess, for me is, does our parasocial relationship to celebrities, which we cannot deny that we build, does it cause us to make excuses for our favorites, or does it cause us to make demands of them to produce, even when they don't have it in them? So that's kind of like what I end up in, just kind of left with the show Swarm. Anyway, thanks for spending time with me. I think you guys should absolutely watch the show. I like the show. I think some people didn't understand it, and I totally get that. Now, okay, I'm gonna talk about the bad points about the show too. One, I don't personally like the idea of demonizing someone who has autism. I know it doesn't necessarily do that, but I don't like the idea that it's another serial killer whose maladjustment has caused them to make criminal activity a norm. And I know plenty of people with many different kind of mental illnesses. I know autistic people, and they're not out here murdering people because of maladjustment. Sure, there are like some issues there are some maladjustment issues that you may have due to all kinds of mental illnesses. that does not mean everybody who's mentally ill or somebody who's autistic is out here gonna kill people. So I don't necessarily like that kind of thing. Also, like I said, she just kills people for no fucking reason sometimes. Like, bitch, why did you kill Billie Eilish? What? You could have just left. I don't. Anyway, thank you. If you have any comments or questions or concerns, you should definitely hit our line. Link is in the description below. Don't forget to join the Discord and come vibe with the tribe. Go watch Swarm on Amazon Prime. And if you want to fight about my opinion, like always, you are free to do so in the comments below. Bye.